The Milky Way 1936 film. The Milky Way is a 1936 American comedy film starring Harold Lloyd. Directed by comedy veteran Leo McCarey, the film was written by Grover Jones, Frank Butler, and Richard Connell based on a play of the same name by Lynn and Harry Clork, which was presented on Broadway in 1934. An example of the popular screwball comedy genre of the time, and critically Harold Lloyd's most successful talkie, it tells the story of a Brooklyn milkman who becomes middleweight boxing champion. The Milky Way features supporting performances by Adolphe Menjou and Verree Teasdale, and marked the film debut of Anthony Quinn, within small uncredited role. Plot: timid milkman Verree Sullivan Lloyd works for the American company Sunflower Dairies. Two drunk men try to chat up me, Verree's sister, and he chances by. In an ensuing brawl, Speed McFarland, the world middleweight champion, gets knocked out, but Verree never in fact threw a punch. He merely ducked to get out of the way of a punch which brought the champ down. McFarland's boss, the crooked Gabby Sloan Adolphe Menjou, decides to promote Sullivan in a series of fixed fights that will culminate in him being knocked out in a real fight with McFarland. Against all the odds, Sullivan triumphs and becomes world champion. Cast: Harold Lloyd as Verree Tiger Sullivan, Adolphe Menjou as Gabby Sloan Speed's managers, Verree Teasdale as Ann Wesley, Helen Mack as Miss Sullivan Verree's sister, William Gargan as Speed McFarland middleweight champ, George Barbier as Wilbur Austin, Dorothy Wilson as Polly Pringle, Lionel Stander as Spider Schultz Speed's bodyguard, Charles Lane as Willard, Marjorie Gateson as Mrs. E. Winthrop Lemoyne. Cast notes: Anthony Quinn has an uncredited bit part as an extra, his first film appearance. Thomas A. Curran, the early American silent film star, plays an uncredited bit part. Production: The Milky Way had originally been optioned as a vehicle for Jack Oakey, with Edward Everett Horton and Gertrude Michael in the main supporting roles, but when Oakey was replaced with Harold Lloyd, the role of the manager was to go to William Frawley, because studio executives felt that Lloyd and Horton were too similar in comic style. The part eventually went to Adolphe Menjou. Both Brian Donlevy, who played the role of Speed McFarland on Broadway, and boxer-turned-actor Max Verree were considered for roles in the film, but were not cast. Actress Ida Lupino was to have played Polly Pringle, but dropped out because of illness, to be replaced by Dorothy Wilson. Helen Mack and Verree Teasdale were also replacements, the parts having originally gone to Sally Blaine and Gail Patrick. Although they are not in the film, before filming began, the Dion quintuplets had been expected to make an appearance. Filming on the Milky Way began on 22 July 1935, but it was interrupted by the illnesses of Menjou, Teasdale, and director Leo McCarey, who was hospitalized. McCarey's place was taken by his brother, Ray McCarey, and by veteran director Norman Z. McLeod. During filming, when a suitable white horse for Verree could not be found, makeup artists bleached a dark-colored horse blonde. Critical reception. Writing for The Spectator in 1936, Graham Greene gave the film a good review, giving particular praise to Harold Lloyd and Adolphe Menjou for their roles. Summarizing, Greene notes that with the gag makers at the top of their form and Mr. Menjou at the top of his, we have the best Harold Lloyd to date. Adaptations and Remakes. A one-hour radio adaptation was presented on Lux Radio Theatre on November 4, 1935, featuring Charles Butterworth. When producer Samuel Goldwyn bought the rights to the property in the mid-1940s for his remake, The Kid from Brooklyn with Danny Kaye in the lead role, he also bought the original negative and almost all existing prints, and destroyed them. Harold Lloyd, however, had preserved his own original nitrate release print, which became the source for the new digital video transfer used by TCM. Lionel Stander played the role of Spider Schultz in both versions of the film. In 2004, the premise of a mild-mannered milkman turned boxer would again be used in the mockumentary The Calcium Kid, starring Orlando Bloom.